We'll go live real quick. Hope you're doing well. Hit the subscribe button for a discussion. Hit the notification bell to always come back and have more discussions. Discussions are what's important in this world, right? Communication. Believe how they say it in Italia. La communication, eh? Mwah, chef's kiss. Also, by the way, I think 1 week from... Is today Tuesday? Yeah, today's Tuesday. 1 week from today, I'm going to have Darine on live from France. She's going to join me in a live. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. So many interesting discussions to have with another human. Not halfway around the world, but in another... Not even in another hemisphere. Same hemisphere, just across the pond, as they say. Across the pond. Welcome, I'm Rob. This is the live stream. If you're new, I say subscribe because I go live 5 days a week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Sometimes twice. Looking to have some more people on to have some discussions. Like I said, Doreen is going to be coming in hot from France. Coming in hot and dotting you with some information. So it's going to be good to talk with her. But we also talk about news here. Today we're going to talk about the female spies on Instagram. You know who they're working for? The Taliban. That's right. Female spies. I also try to link all the articles that we discuss in these lives down in the description. Highly encourage you to read these for yourself. I try not to do paywalls. I think this one is a paywall. I read it for free. Then I went back and it said, give me $1. And I said, you. So if you can skirt the paywall, find this article and read it. It's about the Taliban hiring women to spy on other women, to bust their ass, which I don't know what the punishment is, but it can't be good if we're talking Taliban. Although I do think America imprisons more people than the Taliban. I don't know what the ratio or percentage is, but I just know, like, cumulatively, Americans do go to prison more. But yeah, the Taliban believes, their law is their religion law. Sharia law is how they run their countries, which is odd that certain political parties want religion to run our country. Are you drawing the parallels? But, Sharia law does not want, it states in the article, women cannot be working outside of the home. Which is interesting that the Taliban is willing to hire women and put them to work spying on other women. I guess they just can't leave the home. This is a remote job. Gage R, hello, frog. A very frog to you as well, sir. Or a very frog to you as well, Ribbit. Thank you guys for stopping by. Please hit subscribe and the notification bell. I don't lie to people like Mr. Beast. I don't say subscribe for a cookie. I say subscribe because I'm here 5 days a week doing a live stream. Talking news commentary, newsmentary. With a lot of heavy emphasis on the sarcasm. So welcome, Frog and Gajar. Talking about this article that I linked down below so everybody can read the articles when I discuss them. I highly encourage you to read it for yourself too. Find out if it's biased or not. I heard someone say, I try to give you unbiased news, and I went, I hope you're being sarcastic, because everything's biased. This is a very biased live stream. I am pro-women, pro-worker, pro-people. So anyways, Taliban in this article is talking about hiring women, obviously a work-from-home remote job, to spy on other women. And they're doing it through Instagram. They're finding women showing their face on Instagram and busting them. Gotcha. And they even interviewed one of the women doing the work. She said, it's my duty. This is like a holy duty for me. Which is just crazy to be that anti-women. It's really, really infuriating. We're in 2024. But it's infuriating that there are people in this country that think women, and if you read this article, I highly encourage you to. This article talks about how women should just be in the home, submissive to their husbands, and just be caretakers. That's it. Make babies, be caretakers. Which I thought, man, those are some Tommy Loren talking points right there. Tommy Loren basically has the same viewpoint on women as the Taliban, which is just incredible. You know, it really is. But then again, some people in this country that are affiliated with the right, the political parties on the right, they, you know, encourage this stuff too. They want a religious state, a religious law, which, I mean, in the Middle East, they'd be best friends, because in the Middle East, they got a religious law. It's called Sharia law. It's the law of Islam. But here in America, it's just the difference of religion, but they still want religion to run things. Well, and that comes in a very archaic, very, very archaic look upon women. I don't get it. I don't get it. Terry Charms, what's up? Good to see you. I checked out Terry Charms' YouTube channel. Awesome channel. Terry, go and check out Terry's YouTube stuff. She does a lot of paranormal stuff. I love it. Does anyone know how to change a light bulb in a microwave? I don't know. Stick your head in there. Figure it out. Paper Badge. I like your name, though. Paper Badge. Bio Walid. Did my dog fart on my face? What are you, peeping on me while I sleep? Of course. Of course my dog farts in my face. My dog sleeps in my bed. The dog runs the house, Walid. Baya. Is that why they call you Baya? Because you just, they say, oh, he gets it. Baya. Baya Walid. So yeah, I don't understand this anti-women movement. It's not just in the Middle East. They would have you believe, oh, that's an Islamic thing. That's the Taliban that doesn't want, they're literally hiring women. Again, in Sharia law, women are not allowed to take a job outside the home. They got to work, you know, if they're going to have a job, they can't leave the home. They can't even leave. That was the other part of this article down below. I want you to be on my panel one day. Terry, anything for you. You run a great channel, interesting content, love it. You got it. You name it, you got it. Would you want a stay-at-home wife? I want a wife who wants to do what she wants to do. If she wants to stay at home and I can make that happen, no problem. She wants to go work like my wife does, no problem. It don't affect me. I'm not insecure. It don't affect me. I would like women to have the same opportunities that men have had for a millennia. You want to do something? Go for it. I don't comprehend how this fucking country claims to be the land of the free, but then they want women who stay at home. Who's it free for, folks? Just the white men? I'm not down with that. If a woman wants to be president, so be it. Woman wants to stay at home and have kids, so be it. Freedom means choice. Remember, freedom is choice. Unfortunately, in this country, it's money that gives you freedom. Memo. I like the name. Memo. Oh, we got some Russians up in the chat, I believe. I only took Russian for a little bit on Duolingo, so you have to forgive me. What's on my head? A rap? What's on your head? That's the better question. Rare breed. Rare breed? Is that a Nirvana reference? I don't think so. Women are tough as hell. Some of the strongest women I know, or some of the strongest humans I know, are women. Much tougher than men. Watch a man give birth. I can't wait till the day we can make a man give birth. Be crying like a baby. I don't want to do it. Give me the drugs. Meanwhile, women just be popping out kids. Boom. Women are tough as nails, man. Ain't nobody stronger. And if you ain't seen strong women, you need to pay close attention, or you might be surrounded by the wrong women. You might be surrounded by Republican women or Islamic women, because apparently, and these women, I don't say they're not tough. I just think they're oppressed. That's what this article is. Again, this article details how one of the interviewers is it for your law and Sharia law, women can't talk to men outside their family. Is that illegal? How do you deal with that? And he's like, oh, no, because they're working for us and they were spying and reporting on other women. We deem it to be okay. I'm like, God damn, man. That's so crazy. It's so fucking crazy. It's just beyond me. It's beyond me that some Republicans call for this too. They want a stay-at-home woman. Just as kids raises the households. Bah, bah, bah. Meanwhile, they're like, we're free. Who's free, motherfucker? Not the women. Well, see, if women want to leave you, that's why you're trying to make divorce illegal. which I think is illegal in Islam, unless the man wants to do it, of course. Yes, I'm Russian. You won't understand what I'm writing about. Oh, but don't think I can't look that up later, memo, with your message retracted. Plus, I know a tiny bit of Russian if I go back to my Duolingo thing. I was taking Russian, uh, Danish. What else? Danish was the one I really wanted to learn. So that's the one I put. And Swahili. Swahili. Those are the two I really want to learn. Swahili and Danish. French, I would love to learn. I just don't feel like I could take that much on. So anyways, I just want to talk about this anti-woman movement real quick. And again, I highly encourage you to read down below. But the Taliban are hiring women. Again, they can't work outside the home, so it's got to be a remote job, to go on Instagram and bust other women living in that country under Sharia law that are showing their faces. Just showing their faces. They also reference showing ankle. This is like the 1930s in America. Well, no, even the 30s was more risque than that. What was it, the 50s where Elvis shook his hips and everybody fainted? Showing ankle, showing face, and they're busting them. And I'm guessing these women are going to prison, which is just beyond me. But it's more beyond me that we see this leak in today's culture, and don't think for a second if this wasn't under Sharia law and if they were doing it in the name of Christ, Christ is king, that these Republicans wouldn't be like, yo, look at how they're doing it over there. That's how we got to run things. It's very eerily similar how they all want like this national state religion that can be law. The irony of it is, of course, if you know anything about Jesus, Jesus put women in the most essential roles in the Bible. And I don't mean role as in homemaker. I mean like role to the faith. Like without these women, there would be no faith. There would be no discovery. There would be no stories. There would be no testimony. And what I mean is, like, think about when Jesus came across the prostitute that they had dragged out to her. And he said, go and sin no more, right? He wrote something in the ground and said, go sin no more. That story was told because of a woman. But to get to an even more important point, when he raised Lazarus. Why did he raise Lazarus from the dead? Because Lazarus' sister Mary, I think everybody in the Bible is named Mary, every woman, Mother Mary, Mary, Magdalene, Mary's sister Lazarus, maybe they're all the same Mary. He loved Mary though. But because he was so moved by Lazarus' sister weeping that he wept and he raised Lazarus from the dead. He was so moved. Then, if you remember this part of the story, when the stone was moved from the tomb, the stone that it took, 12 centurions to put in place or something, that was just impossible to move on your own. When that stone was rolled away and there was no body in the tomb, who discovered that? Does anybody remember? Raise your hand. My mother's name is Mary. Oh, awesome. I knew like America is being so dumbed down at the same time, 100%. Rare breed. Says you. But do you guys remember who made the discovery that Jesus was not in the tomb? Who made that discovery? To give you one guess. Begins with an M, ends with a airy. Mary. It was Mary. And not only that, but do you remember when Mary was crying? The first person Jesus, when he rose from the dead, when he came back after 3 days, the first person he went to was Mary. When she was crying in the tomb, Peter and someone else left. They ran back to let everybody know, and she was left alone there. And I forget what happened, but something along the lines, he's like, why are you crying? She was like, oh, my teacher's gone, my teacher's gone. And he's like, do you not recognize me? So the first person Jesus appeared to was Mary. She discovered the tomb. I mean, she is a cornerstone of the faith, man. And just to think, if Republicans, if the people in Sharia law, the people that are anti-women, that's it. It's just anti-women. If they were in charge, the story wouldn't even be fucking told. Because you couldn't have a woman doing that stuff, doing the most important legwork of the faith, right? But I bring that up because I want you to think, if women were just meant to be at home, like who was that dude that said it? Somebody in the chat. Let me go back. Thomas Jefferson Official. Jesus Christ, what a name. Usually I like people's YouTube handles. Santa Claus has a great story. Yeah, he does. No doubt. We're not talking about him. Start your own live stream. Oh, and hit subscribe and the notification bell. Always welcome discussion. Just trolling comments like that, that's not what we're talking about. Whether you don't believe it or you do is irrelevant. The point is that this Bible has been around for over 2,000 years, still the #1 bestseller, that is believed by many people, that whether you like it or not, has some impact on your fucking life. You know, time, AD, BC, it has some impact. So whether or not you want to acknowledge it, it's not my point. What I'm talking about is the importance of it. For these people like Thomas Jefferson Official, who says, don't you want a stay-at-home wife? If Jesus wanted a stay-at-home wife, if God wanted that, guess what? Mary would have never discovered the tomb rolled away. Mary would have never been there when Jesus returned. Okay? These are important things to consider when you're anti-women. That Jesus, he loves a lot of people, but if you're anti-woman, he hates you. For real, it's in his book. Go read it. I'm a believer too, Terry. I got tatted on my... Why don't you like my name? Because usually Thomas _ Jefferson Official, usually we get some interesting names like Memo, Rare Breed. I don't know. You know what? Are you a creator on YouTube? I'll give you a second chance. Or I'll give you... I shouldn't judge a book by its cover. If the name ain't stinging me right away, I'll go check out your channel if you create. Maybe the Thomas Jefferson Official has a hilarity in it that I just didn't understand yet. But ancient civils, who built the pyramids? I don't know, man. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the anti-women movement, the spies on Instagram, which is crazy to think about this, right? The Taliban doesn't want women working, doesn't want them showing their face or ankles on Instagram, probably doesn't want them on Instagram, but they're willing to break their own laws to send other women out to catch the other women. You know what I mean? Like the hypocrisy. It's just like the people that want to say, Jesus is king. We gotta, respect his thing needs to be law, which that's the weirdest part about like them wanting the alt-right to take over Christianity, take over America. Because you know what the law is from Jesus? Love your neighbor like you love yourself. Like that's his law. And if you do that, we all good. For real. Just go look in the Bible. I can't read the whole thing to you, but I promise you, you're going to find out that Jesus says, just love your neighbor. Love God, love your neighbor. Most important things ever. That's my law. That's it. If you love your neighbor, we don't have most of this stuff. And that's the hilarity, the irony, the hypocrisy, is that these people that just want to use it as a weapon of oppression just need to be unmasked as anti-women. Remember that He-Man Woman Haters Club and the Little Rascals? It's like that, but like Black Mirror version. Men are at the top of the food chain. My man, how did you get here? How did you get here? Did your dad poop you out? Comments like that, I'm starting to think maybe so. It is a great fable written by old white men. Amen, CJ. CJ, I was designing a shirt today that says the 80s, gotta love the mild stuff. And then I did one that said, gotta love the mild drugs. I'm just designing it. It's in the basic clip art stages, but I wanted to tell you that. I was thinking about you today. But listen, Rare Breed, you can say men are at the top of the food day all day long, but you know what? If the alt-right Republicans have their way in controlling women's bodies, at some point we were just going to stop having men. And I look forward to that day. God bless you, women. I just tweeted that earlier. I was like, man, for all the women have to deal with the misogynist culture, I really admire so many women. I really do. They're fucking amazing. Women are so rad. I've had so many... I'm just so blessed to have the women. I have some of the strongest women in my life, and I'm just floored every time I witness their fucking... What's the word? I don't even know. It's hard to put a word on it. It's more than magic. You mean humankind? Or Rare Bee? Did I fuck up Terry? I bet I did. Blah, what's up? Hey, man. Blah, I was thinking about you too today because I have not sat down on my computer to make mods. You were still in mind. I got to do the mod stuff. I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry. Men are very important. Society would collapse without men. I would say society would collapse without women. I don't think men are less important. That is not this. Don't turn this into like the Black Lives, every life matter, that bullshit racist argument. This is meant to just say women are as 100% as important. If not, they might be a touch above. A touch, you know? It's hard to say who's more important because I think it's an equal, or needs to be an equal playing field, and that's what we're discussing, that it really hasn't been. In this Taliban article, again, I linked down below. I guess I don't have a girlfriend. Rare breed, you're a funny man. You're right, I don't have a girlfriend. I've been married for a long time. Terry. I love you, Terry. Terry, I refuse to encourage you because, Terry, you got a good heart. Rare breed, just by the, what is it, the Jeep in your icon. I'm betting you're a hit with the ladies. Betting you're a hit. They all want to see him with the top down. I think there is a balance to everything. But more importantly, what I was saying, Thomas Jefferson, everybody's redacting their messages. But what I was saying is, like, women have had to deal with, like CJ said, a society built, Thomas Jefferson, by mostly rich white men. And with that, the inherent misogynistic structural damage and collateral damage that gets done along with it. And we're seeing it in modern day, whether it's Republicans and sometimes Democrats too, Democrats and Republicans pushing for it in modern day America, or we say it with Islam and Sharia law with the Taliban, the article I linked down below, where they are hiring females who, again, in Sharia law, they can't work outside the home. So it's obviously a remote job where they go on Instagram and look for other women who are showing their face and ankles on Instagram and busting them, sending them to jail. Fucking scumbags, man. If you're trying to regulate a woman's body or bust them for showing an ankle, I got no respect for you. Worse than no respect, but we'll keep it at that. CJ, if males are at the top of the food chain, why do female lions do the hunting? Woohoo! I say I think it's just the women in my life I respect so much, and I've seen the greatness that they can fucking create, like, out of thin air and the magic, that I've been saying, you know, give the government to, like, put the right women in charge. You know, there'll be no BS. There'll be no this. There'll be no that. They'll straighten it out. The funny thing is the dudes that say, oh, don't you want a woman to run the household? Don't you want a woman to stay at home? If you really believe that, then you would believe that a woman could run the government. How could she just run a house and not a government? You know, that's what I want to point out. The irony of these statements where people are like, don't you want a woman to run the household? Doesn't she need to be a home? And then you're like, yeah, if they run the household, they do a splendid job. Wife does better than me, and she works full time. But the thing is, why limit her there unless you're anti-women? If you believe she does such a good job at that, organizing that and dealing with all the stress and your guff and this and that and all the societal pressures and everything like that, and a lot of them are working at the same time, then wouldn't they be ideal to run bigger, better things? I think so. And if not, maybe your comments don't align because you're anti-woman. And listen, this live stream is a place for everybody to discover, learn, discuss, conversate, and maybe reflect. Because I had these beliefs when I was younger, you know, and I had some very strong, patient, intelligent women straighten me out multiple times when I would say bad things. I was mostly being a wise ass, but still, the women in my life, you know, let me know. and we all can learn and grow. That's the best part of life, is growing. And the only way you do that is by learning. And the only way you learn is by having discussions. You get outside of your comfort zone. You have discussions where it is just not an echo chamber. So that's the other place that this is. And I respect people who come and learn, like those stories of these, you know, Nazis or neo-Nazis or the skinheads that like experience some life. They got outside their little echo chamber, they experience life, and they realize they've done it all wrong, and they go about their life asking for forgiveness and trying to make amends. Like, that's admirable, because they recognized they were wrong and they grew as a person. Everybody can do that. If you're a human, you were made by a woman. Yep. You sound like a fucking Terry. Oh my God. Oh my God. Don't pay any attention to Rare Breed. He's just trying to elicit a response. But Terry, goddamn. Oh, I love you, Terry. Love you, CJ. All right, I gotta go. I gotta get up early. Thank you guys for stopping by. Read this article, and if it paywalls you, go find it somewhere else. I want you to think about the correlation about what's happening now in America. It's very scary and it's very shitty. And the best thing we can do is call it out when you see it. You see someone being anti-woman, you stop them in their tracks. You say, "Not on my watch, friend." All right, love you guys. Thank you so much for stopping by. Hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'll be back tomorrow. I don't want to get copyrighted, so that's all I'm gonna sing of that. Have a great night. Peace. Oh, and don't forget, join the Discord. Discord is peace, Rare Breed. Join the Discord. Great place. A lot of people are joining. Soulless has been making it an awesome place for conversation, music. We can play chess there. It's fucking rad. Big shout out to Soulless for developing that up. It's just like a Reddit for this YouTube channel. So please join the Discord. It's super cool, and Soulless has been doing some great work into it. So peace.